For decades, you have been told a simple story. To keep your bones strong, to stand tall and independent as the years go by, you need calcium. And if you can't get enough from food, you've been told to take a supplement. It is a message of responsible self-care, promoted by health organizations and echoed in the aisles of every pharmacy. But what if that very act, done with the best of intentions, was contributing to the hardening of your arteries? What if the pillar of bone health we've all leaned on for so long was in fact a double-edged sword? This isn't a choice between a strong skeleton and a healthy heart. It's about a profound misunderstanding of how our bodies work. A misunderstanding that could put both at risk, threatening the very independence and vitality we are trying so desperately to protect. The story we've been told about calcium is not wrong, but it is dangerously incomplete. The true adversary we face is not the mineral itself, but a concept I call unguided calcium. This is calcium that enters our bodies without a clear set of instructions, without a map, free to wander and deposit itself in the wrong places. This becomes critically important after the age of 60. It's a time in life when our body's intricate systems for managing minerals begin to change. Our kidney function, which helps manage mineral excess, can naturally decline. It's also the precise time when the twin risks of osteoporosis and cardiovascular disease converge, creating a perfect storm where a mistake in managing one can tragically accelerate the other. The solution, then, isn't to fear calcium, it's to give it what it has always needed: a sophisticated biological navigation tool, an internal GPS that I call the Calcium Guidance System. This system ensures that this vital building material gets delivered exclusively to the construction site, your bones, and is strictly forbidden from turning our vital arteries, our highways of life, into rigid, calcified stone. I know this can be unsettling to hear. I watched a family member diligently take their calcium pills every day, believing they were doing everything right to protect themselves. It wasn't until I delved deep into the cardiovascular research, into the complex dance of nutrients required for health, that I realized the picture was dangerously incomplete. This isn't just data to me, it's personal. It's about turning confusion into clarity and fear into empowerment. Before we continue, remember, this information is for educational purposes and is not medical advice. Always consult your healthcare provider for any health concerns or before making any changes to your diet or supplement routine. Over the next few minutes, we are going to embark on a journey together. By the end of this video, you will not only understand the full story about calcium, but you will have a complete step-by-step blueprint to build strong bones and protect your arteries, allowing you to reclaim confident control over your health. To do that, we first need to understand the problem. In a few moments, I'm going to reveal the fascinating and slightly alarming biological process where your own body can be tricked into turning cells inside your blood vessels into bone-like tissue, and how a simple nutrient can shut it down. Then, later in our journey, I'll share the story of a fermented Japanese food that holds one of the biggest secrets to cardiovascular health, a secret that directly addresses this calcium paradox. And you must stick with me to the very end, because I will give you the complete Artery-Safe bone protocol, a simple 5-pillar strategy you can start implementing today. First, I have a question for you. Let me know in the comments. Have you ever worried that one supplement you're taking for one problem might be causing another? It's a common fear. And today, we're going to replace that fear with clarity. Let's begin by confronting 3 alarming truths about unguided calcium. The first is what I call the supplement paradox. For half a century, the conventional wisdom has been straightforward. If your diet is low in calcium, a supplement is the logical, responsible solution. It seems to make perfect sense, but a landmark 10-year study, the multi-ethnic study of atherosclerosis, or MESA, uncovered a disturbing twist. Researchers followed over 5,000 adults and found that those with the highest total calcium intake from both food and supplements actually had a decreased risk of developing atherosclerosis, the underlying cause of most heart attacks and strokes. That sounds like good news. But when they looked closer, the picture changed dramatically. That protective benefit was only seen in people who got their calcium from food. For those using calcium supplements, the benefit vanished. In fact, after accounting for all other factors, taking a calcium supplement was associated with a staggering 22% increased risk of developing new coronary artery calcification. Coronary artery calcification, or CAC, is a direct measurement of hardened plaque in the arteries of your heart. It's like a CT scan that counts the mineral deposits, turning your flexible blood vessels into rigid pipes. This wasn't an isolated finding. A major meta-analysis published in the prestigious British Medical Journal pooled data from multiple trials and came to an even more direct conclusion. It found that calcium supplements, when taken without co-administered vitamin D, were associated with a 31% increased risk of having a heart attack. These numbers are not just statistics. They represent a tangible threat to the life you want to live. They represent the potential loss of the physical freedom to travel, to garden, to lift a grandchild without a shadow of fear in the back of your mind. They represent the difference between a future of active independence and one defined by cardiovascular limitation and anxiety. This leads us to our second alarming truth, the biological switch. Most of us think of calcium as an inert mineral like chalk. We swallow it and it goes where it's needed. But the reality is far more dynamic. And this is where we uncover that alarming process I mentioned earlier. Your arteries are lined with highly specialized cells called vascular smooth muscle cells. Their job is to keep your arteries flexible and responsive, expanding and contracting with every heartbeat. But under certain stressful conditions, specifically a chronic excess of calcium and phosphate in the bloodstream, these cells can be tricked. They can undergo a shocking transformation, a process called osteogenic differentiation. In simple terms, these flexible muscle cells receive the wrong set of instructions and begin to behave like bone-building cells, or osteoblasts. They start expressing bone-related genes, producing bone-related proteins, and laying down mineral deposits, effectively beginning a process of ossification, of turning to bone, right inside your artery wall. This isn't just plaque forming on the surface. This is the artery itself changing its fundamental nature, becoming rigid and brittle. It's a process where your body's own powerful cellular machinery is hijacked, working directly against the very vitality you are trying to preserve. It speaks to a terrifying loss of control at the most basic biological level, where the systems designed to maintain you are instead contributing to your decline. So what creates the stressful conditions that flip this dangerous biological switch? That brings us to our third and final alarming truth, the absorption problem. There's a common assumption that if you swallow a 500 milligram calcium pill, your bones receive 500 milligrams of calcium. But your body simply doesn't work that way. It is not designed to handle a large, concentrated, isolated dose of a mineral all at once. Taking a high-dose calcium supplement is like trying to force a month's worth of groceries through a small doorway in a single afternoon. It creates a bottleneck, a traffic jam of calcium in your bloodstream. While calcium from food is bound in a complex matrix of fiber, protein, and other nutrients, which ensures it is absorbed slowly and steadily over many hours, supplemental calcium, especially common forms like calcium carbonate, can hit your system like a tidal wave, causing a rapid, unnatural spike in serum calcium levels. It is this sudden, acute spike that floods the bloodstream with excess raw material, providing the perfect opportunity for it to be deposited in soft tissues like your arteries. For older adults, this problem is compounded. Even healthy kidneys have a more limited capacity to quickly filter and excrete this sudden calcium overload, increasing the time that this excess mineral is circulating and available to do damage. This reframes the diligent act of taking a daily supplement. It's no longer just a simple act of topping up a nutrient. It becomes an act of inadvertently overwhelming your body's finely tuned regulatory systems, creating the very conditions that can lead to the hardening of your arteries. It creates a powerful, urgent need for a smarter, more elegant solution than just brute force supplementation. Everything I've just shared is cause for serious concern. It paints a picture where a well-intentioned habit could have unintended, dangerous consequences. But it's not a cause for despair, because the very same science that identified this complex problem has also given us an incredibly elegant solution. The issue was never the calcium itself. The issue was that we were sending it into the body without a map, without a supervisor, without a guidance system. It's time we install that system. The calcium guidance system isn't one nutrient. It's a team of 3 essential players working in perfect synergy. Think of them as the key personnel needed for a critical construction project. First, you need a gatekeeper. This is the nutrient that unlocks the door, allowing calcium to pass from your digestive system into your bloodstream, where it can be used. That gatekeeper is vitamin D. Without sufficient vitamin D, your body can absorb at best only 10 to 15% of the calcium you consume. It simply passes through your system unused. With optimal vitamin D levels, that absorption rate skyrockets to 30 or even 40%. Vitamin D is the fundamental first step. It gets the building materials onto the transport trucks. But once the calcium is in the bloodstream, once the trucks are on the highway, you need a traffic cop. You need a nutrient that stands at every intersection, directing the flow, waving the calcium trucks towards the bones, and putting up roadblocks to keep them out of the arteries and other soft tissues. This is the most critically overlooked player in the entire bone health equation, vitamin K2. This is the secret hidden within that fermented Japanese food natto, which has one of the highest concentrations of K2 on the planet. Vitamin K2 performs 2 miraculous jobs. It activates a protein called osteocalcin, which acts like a powerful glue, helping to bind calcium directly into your bone matrix. Simultaneously, it activates another protein, matrix glay protein, or MGP, which is the most potent inhibitor of arterial calcification known to science. It actively patrols your arteries, preventing calcium from being deposited where it doesn't belong. Finally, even with a gatekeeper and a traffic cop, every complex operation needs a supervisor. You need a master regulator that keeps the entire system in balance, ensuring everything runs smoothly. That supervisor is magnesium. Magnesium is the body's natural relaxant, perfectly balancing calcium's contractile nature. It is absolutely essential for the conversion of vitamin D into its active form in your body. Without enough magnesium, your vitamin D can't even function properly as a gatekeeper. And crucially, magnesium works directly in the bloodstream to inhibit the very formation of the tiny calcium phosphate crystals that are the seeds of arterial plaque. It calms the entire system down, preventing the overload that leads to chaos. Vitamin D, the gatekeeper. Vitamin K2, the traffic cop. And magnesium, the supervisor. This is the calcium guidance system. It's the missing piece of the puzzle, the complete set of instructions your body needs to use calcium safely and effectively. Now, let's transform this knowledge into action. We will build piece by piece, the 5 pillars of the Artery-Safe bone protocol. This is your practical blueprint for a future of strength and flexibility. Our first and most foundational pillar is to master your magnesium. We start here because magnesium is the body's great balancer. It is nature's own calcium channel blocker. In every cell, calcium and magnesium exist in a delicate dance. Calcium is the spark, the signal for contraction in your muscles, your nerves, and your heart. Magnesium is the calming force, the signal for relaxation. When magnesium levels are low, calcium can become overexcitatory, leading to cramps, tension, and even contributing to irregular heart rhythms. As we've learned, your body cannot properly utilize vitamin D without adequate magnesium. It's the key that turns the key. And perhaps most directly relevant to our discussion, compelling research shows that magnesium physically interferes with the formation of hydroxyapatite crystals, the sharp, damaging mineral structures that initiate vascular calcification. It's no surprise, then, that large-scale studies like the Framingham Heart Study have found a powerful inverse association. The more magnesium people consumed, the less coronary artery calcification they had. You are becoming someone who understands balance, not just brute force. You're creating a calm, resilient internal environment where minerals work for you, not against you. To do this, focus on magnesium-rich foods first. Dark leafy greens like spinach and kale, nuts like almonds and cashews, seeds like pumpkin and sesame, and even high-quality dark chocolate. If you and your doctor decide a supplement is necessary, forms like magnesium glycinate or malate are often well absorbed and gentle on the digestive system. Our second pillar is to activate vitamin K2, the arterial protector. For decades, this nutrient was the missing link in the bone health conversation. We knew we needed to get calcium into the body, but we didn't fully appreciate the need to tell it where to go. That is the specific job of vitamin K2. Its primary mechanism is the activation of 2 critical proteins. The first, which we've mentioned, is matrix GLA protein, or MGP. Think of inactive MGP as a team of security guards standing around unarmed. Vitamin K2 is what hands them their equipment, allowing them to actively patrol your blood vessels and prevent mineral deposition. The second protein is osteocalcin. When activated by K2, osteocalcin acts like mortar, helping to cement calcium into the honeycomb structure of your bones, making them denser and more resilient. The evidence for K2's power is striking. Observational studies have shown that individuals with the highest intake of vitamin K2 have dramatically lower rates of severe aortic calcification and a significantly reduced risk of dying from heart disease. You are now part of an informed group that understands one of the most advanced concepts in nutritional science. You are actively directing nutrients with precision, like a skilled conductor leading an orchestra. To integrate this, it's vital to understand the difference between K1, found in leafy greens, and K2. Vitamin K2 is primarily found in fermented foods and certain animal products. The richest source is natto, the Japanese fermented soybean dish. Other excellent sources include aged cheeses like Gouda and Brie, egg yolks, and chicken breast. When considering a supplement, the MK7 form of K2 is generally preferred as it stays active in the body for longer. The third pillar of our protocol is to optimize vitamin D3, the absorption gateway. We must reframe our thinking about vitamin D. It isn't just a bone vitamin, it is the master key that unlocks calcium's entire potential. As we discussed, without enough vitamin D, your intestinal absorption of calcium is a paltry 10 to 15%. But when your vitamin D levels are optimal, that efficiency more than doubles to 30 to 40%. This is a critical point. It means you can achieve superior bone-building effects with less total calcium intake, dramatically reducing the risk of creating that dangerous surplus in your bloodstream. You are no longer guessing. You are ensuring your body has the fundamental tools it needs to do its job, creating efficiency and power from the ground up. The best way to approach this is to ask your doctor for a simple blood test to check your 25-hydroxy vitamin D levels. This will tell you exactly where you stand. From there, you can work with your provider to determine the right strategy, which may include sensible, non-burning sun exposure, and for many, supplementation with vitamin D3, the cholecalciferol form, which is the same form your body produces from sunlight. This brings us to our fourth and perhaps most important pillar, the food-first doctrine. The safest, most effective, and most intelligent way to get your calcium is from whole foods. Nature has already perfected the delivery system. When you consume calcium from sources like yogurt, sardines, or kale, it comes packaged in a natural, complex matrix. This ensures a slow, gentle, and sustained release into your bloodstream, completely avoiding the sudden, dangerous spikes caused by many supplements. The science confirms this wisdom. Remember the MESA study? It was high dietary calcium that was associated with a lower risk of atherosclerosis. By choosing food first, you are nourishing your body the way it was designed to be nourished, trusting the inherent intelligence of whole foods over the isolated brute force of a pill. Excellent sources include dairy like plain yogurt and kefir, canned sardines and salmon. Be sure to eat the soft edible bones, dark leafy greens like collard greens and kale, almonds, and calcium-set tofu. Finally, we arrive at our fifth pillar, the activation signal. All the nutrients we've discussed are the building blocks, but you must give your body a compelling reason to use them. You have to place an order with the construction site. That powerful order is sent through weight-bearing and resistance exercise. The mechanical stress placed on your skeleton during these activities is a direct biological trigger. It sends a powerful signal to your bone-building cells, the osteoblasts, telling them to get to work, to take the calcium and other minerals from the bloodstream and deposit them into the bone matrix. This isn't folk wisdom. It's a fundamental principle of physiology known as Wolff's Law. Bone adapts and remodels in response to the loads placed upon it. With this final pillar, you become the master architect of your own body. With every brisk walk, every stair climbed, every gentle lift, you are sending a powerful, undeniable command to your bones. Be strong, be dense, rebuild. For those who are able, high-impact activities like dancing, hiking, or tennis are fantastic. But low-impact weight-bearing exercises are equally valuable and often safer. This includes fast walking, using an elliptical machine, or climbing stairs. And don't forget simple resistance exercises like wall push-ups, standing up from a chair without using your hands, or using light weights or resistance bands. These activities build the muscle that supports your skeleton and sends that vital signal for bone growth. So there it is, the complete Artery-Safe bone protocol. It's not about a single pill. It's about installing the calcium guidance system in your body, using magnesium, K2, and D3 to intelligently direct calcium from whole foods, and then activating your bones with movement. This brings us to a point of decision. You now stand at a crossroads, with two very different paths stretching out before you. You can continue down the old path of unguided calcium, taking an isolated pill, hoping for the best, but now knowing that you might be inadvertently contributing to the hardening of the very arteries that give you life. It's a path of uncertainty, of incomplete information, and of potential risk. Or you can choose the new path, the path of wisdom, a path where you work with your body's amazing intelligence, not against it, where you nourish it with the right materials, in the right way, with the right guidance system in place. A path that leads not just to strong bones, but to a strong heart, a flexible body, and the confident independence you deserve for decades to come. The choice is yours, and it begins right now. If you are committing to this new path today, to taking intelligent control of your health, I want you to type "I am in control" in the comments below. This is more than just a comment. It's a declaration. It's a commitment to yourself and a signal to this entire community that you're choosing empowerment over fear. When you do, you're not just leaving a comment. You're joining a movement of people who are choosing wisdom over outdated advice. Welcome to the tribe. Please subscribe so you don't miss the next step in our journey together. In our next video, we're going to tackle the single biggest dietary mistake that accelerates bone loss after age 60, and it has nothing to do with calcium. You won't want to miss it.